Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with, if I could choose only one recording by artist V, it would have to be work O. And, the evil god Cankrazans, who is threatening to destroy all of classical music, but for one recording per artist and one work per composer, is definitely starting to weaken. I've left him alone for a little while just to let him absorb all of the music we've been throwing at him and persuade him that despite the craziness of the record labels and the annoyingness of so many fans and whatnot, that this really is a legacy that's worth preserving, at least for the sake of the cultural health of the universe at large. And today, artist V is Trevor Pinnock. And work O, well, album O, really, it's an album, is this one, this amazing recording of Haydn's Lord Nelson Mass and Te Deum, with an incredible cast of soloists. It's Felicity Lott, Carolyn Watkinson, Maldwyn Davies, and David Wilson Johnson, with the English Concert and the English Concert Choir, with Nicholas Parle, organ, if you really want to get technical, and Trevor Pinnock. Now, why that? Well, Trevor Pinnock is one of the more gifted of all of the period instrument people. His big box, he has a big Trevor Pinnock box on Archive, really has many, many more hits than misses. And he was a splendid conductor, actually, of Haydn's music. He had a sense of the drama and as well as instrumental color and texture. He was so much better than Hogwood and some of these other people who have attempted it. And I really was impressed with his Haydn, his Sturm und Drang symphony box, but he really is, he's a wonderful keyboardist. His Bach partitas are tremendous. His Goldberg variations are amazing. He's a really wonderful harpsichordist. But I think that his major choice, if I had to pick only one, would have to be one of the larger vocal works, because he's also extremely good at handling massed forces, big ensemble pieces, and nowhere more than this, because the Lord Nelson Mass usually sounds rather scrawny. Haydn's original scoring, which should always be used, by the way, was simply trumpets, strings, and organ and timpani. That's it. And I think it's 4 trumpets, though. It's a bunch of trumpets, 3 or 4 trumpets, and organ, strings, and timpani. But the bottom line is that there was Haydn's pupil, what's his name, Sigismund or whatever his name was, added woodwind parts later, which are not authentic and which are usually used in performance these days, and they ought never to be. You need that gaunt sound of strings and organ and just trumpets and drums for rhythmic punctuation. It's marvelous. It makes the piece so much more doom-laden. This is Haydn's only late mass in a minor key. It's in D minor, the demonic key of Don Giovanni. I mean, it's really in many places a very dark and forbidding piece. It's known in Latin as the Missa in Angustis, the Mass in straitened times, the Mass in a time of trouble, of terror. And so, and the scoring, which was forced on Haydn, it wasn't what he would have chosen. It's what he had to work with. But he made it work with this piece quite splendidly. And the opening Kyrie is as threatening as you've ever heard it. It's really powerful, with Felicity Lott's soprano soaring above the choir in the recapitulation. It's really, really thrilling. It's a gorgeous performance. It has all of the color and intensity that Haydn wrote into the music. And the Te Deum is just as good, if not better. Haydn's Te Deum, which is only about, 9-10 minutes long, is one of the most gloriously fun settings. It sounds like a football fight song. It's Te Deum laudamus, Te Dominum confitemur. I sang it. Maybe you'll have noticed that. I really did sing it in college. And oh my God, I went to sleep humming it. It's just the best thing in the world. And it has an insane fugue at the end, which actually has some real fun at the words non confundar in aeternum, don't let me be confounded forever. It's got syncopations, it gets a little jazzy. It's just terrific. a wonderful work. And it was the obvious model, actually, for Bruckner's Te Deum, which has some very similar handling of the words, although he stretches it out to 25 minutes. It really is a glorious piece of music. And this is its most glorious performance because Pinnock uses trumpets and trombones. And the ending, oh my God, in a tower, the trombones and trumpets blasting, just like at the end of Brahms' Second Symphony. I mean, you hear so much of the music to come in this work. And it's so glorious in its own right. And I have to say, I'd heard all kinds of recordings of it, and I hadn't heard anything that even came close to doing justice to the music's joy and grandeur simultaneously as you do in this recording. And so, if I had to choose only one by Trevor Pinnock on the Archive label, it would be this, the Lord Nelson Mass and the Te Deum of none other than Haydn. And if you haven't heard this recording, give it a listen. You are going to love it. It's just amazing. So keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me. Take care.